Greetings fellow Decepticons, SoundBlaster1987 here with my monthly vlog for August of 2024. Today I'll be talking about my top 10 picks for what I'd like to see in the McFarlane Toys line if they ever get the Ben 10 license. For those who don't know, Ben 10 is an animated series from 2005 or so, made by a company called Man of Action, the same people behind the Ultimate Spider-Man animated series, and the rest of Marvel's Earth 12041 series that I've recently gone over in an animation review vlog. Basically, a 10-year-old boy on summer vacation with his cousin and their grandfather on a road trip across the USA, accidentally genetically bonds to an alien wristwatch that fell out of the sky, and gives him the power to transform into various alien species as a superhero. Now, this wristwatch is called the Omnitrix, and it's technically supposed to be a catalogue of alien DNA in order to repopulate a planet in the event of an extinction level catastrophe. But, of course, it was used as a superhero device by Ben, and would later go on to be, almost used as a doomsday weapon by Vilgax and several other villains that have tried to steal it over the years. But, without further ado, number 10 on my list, Ripjaws and Wild Mutt. These more animalistic looking aliens would, in my opinion, be a perfect fit for McFarlane Toys' organic monster detailing. Imagine the way they did Sully and the Beast from Disney's Mirrorverse toy line. So, extensive sculpted detail for their organic designs and such like, between Ripjaw's fish scales and Wild Mutt's fur, but add a very thin black paint wash over the top to bring out the details, especially the fish scales and the detail on the teeth with Ripjaws and such. Although of course Ripjaws would require a ball jointed separation of the waist so that his legs can be swapped for a fishtail for his underwater appearance. And then of course there'd be a gold label extensive retool required for his Ultimate Alien, more so catfish looking variant compared to the more anglerfish looking version from the original series in Omniverse. Then, number 9 on my list is Gwen, young Ben Tennyson and Grandpa Max. Now, I know McFarlane have done some 5-inch articulated figures with to scale playset rideable mount animal type things for the Avatar The Last Airbender line recently, so it wouldn't be too out of the realm of plausibility if we could get a 5-inch scale Gwen, Grandpa Max and young Ben Tennyson from the original series with a to-scale Rust Bucket RV vehicle playset at some point. I mean, we got the Fire Nation Komodo Rhino creature for Last Airbender, didn't we? But even at a 7-inch scale, Gwen's magic abilities could potentially lead to some effects parts that could be reused for other characters like Charmcaster later down the line. I'll get to her in a moment. But Grandpa Max has a lot of outfit variants could be used in the series, much like his various variations of the plumber uniform and so on. And of course Ben and Gwen also have potential retools and repaints for their different outfits as well. And then of course those designs are also just a couple of new heads away from being accurate for the 2016 reboot series as well. I'll go over my thoughts on the reboot series in another video since I've not watched all of it yet, but moving on. Number 8 on my list, the Andromeda 5. For those who don't know, the Andromeda 5 are the alien fugitives from Ultimate Alien that became the DNA donors of Terraspin, Water Hazard, Armadillo, NRG and Amphibian, the new transformations Ben's Ultimatrix was able to scan. So, yes, Terraspin is basically just a turtle with air abilities, like turning into a giant hover fan. Armadillo is a giant metal armadillo with jackhammers for arms. NRG is basically just a walking nuclear reactor with a flying Russian nuclear glowing creature inside of it. Amphibian is basically just a flying electric jellyfish type thing. And Water Hazard is a armoured sort of crustacean type creature with the ability to fire water out of pretty much all of the barnacle shaped holes on his armour. Now, when it comes to the extensive detailing and McFarlane style, I think the Omniverse redesign of Water Hazard would be the best choice to go for, because the Ultimate Alien version is just too smooth and not detailed enough in my opinion for McFarlane's design style. So, I think the Omniverse version of Waterhat would be the best shot, plus also obviously it would be difficult to make NRG truly accurate because you'd have to have the sort of glowy guy inside either a light up feature or clear plastic or combination of the two, plus have the shell still be articulated while still opening up to reveal the figure inside. So that could be a little bit awkward, along with the articulation requirements for TerraSpin's big turtle flipper arms. Then, number 7 on my list, Charmcaster, Hex, and their Rock Monster army. Now, Charmcaster is basically just a rival of Gwen's with the magic skills and such like, and her uncle Hex is a more well-known threat as a sort of recurring villain of the franchise. But I think McFarlane Toys' DC and Mortal Kombat style figures could easily be the inspiration for the sculpting for these lot. Especially if Charmcaster's Ultimate Alien design were to be retooled into Sindel in future. And of course the Rock Monsters could once again be a good use of extensive sculpted detail with a thin blackwash to bring out the extensive details and such, like all the cracks in the exterior and whatnot. And this could also be good practice for future Kevin Levin designs as well. Speaking of which, number 6 on my list is Kevin Levin in his multiple various forms. The Ultimate Alien version with the Alien 4 Season 3 mutation could be an extensive retool of DC's Metamorpho for a start, and then the standard version could just be Kevin in his normal Ultimate Alien and Alien Force outfit, just recolored for his various elemental absorption type things, with swappable like maces, hammers and arm blades and such like built in for his elemental absorption weapon forms and such, with gold label variants across the way for his different recolors, so stone, wood, metal, tatanite crystal, and of course a metallic green version for his times when he uses his own car as metal absorption. Though I'm not sure why he turns green, because the green is the paint, not the metal itself, but still. And again, obviously, this would need to be extensively retooled for the Omniverse design because of the way the design has changed somewhat from the Ultimate Alien version. And again, the original series version could be retooled for the reboot version where he's wearing a knockoff Omnitrix. And of course his mutations could be a whole other thing altogether. An extensive retool of forearms would probably need to be used for the original series mutation. I'll come back to that later. But number 5 on my list is going to be the Anur System aliens, Ghost Freak / Zs'Skayr, Blitzwolfer, Snare-Oh, Frankenstrike, and Vampire. Now, all of these Halloween type aliens would again benefit from the organic sculpted detailing plus blackwash to bring out the details type of thing, especially with the more sort of weathered look that Frankenstrike and Ghost Freak would need. And of course Ghost Freak could also be redone, if we were using the original series design, he could also be redone in sort of transparent colour with a sort of shades of grey reversed, so the main body would be a transparent smoky black colour with the scar lines in a lighter shade of grey to show his invisibility form, because he does change colour when he goes invisible or phases through walls. But of course my personal favourite design is the Zs'Skayr, the true form, purple, tentacles exposed, long sharp claws, upside down skull with only one eye with the mouth at the top kind of look. Even the hooded version from Omniverse with a scythe would still be a good design, although it would also need a flight stand, obviously, like Amphibian would, with him being a floating jellyfish. Blitzwolfer would again be a good use of the fur detailing and such. And Vampire would need his underarm wings to be sorted out, similar to the way Todd McFarlane's Spider-Man armpit webs work, but not as an actual web. Then, number 4 on my list would be Forearms. Now, if we use the Ultimate Alien version of Forearms, then that's just literally 3 retools away from Goro from Mortal Kombat, to be honest. If you replace the Omnitrix symbol on the chest with the, sculpted in Mortal Kombat dragon symbol thing, replace the ponytail with a top knot, and reduce the number of eyes from 4 to 2, then we pretty much basically just got Goro already. McFarlane really needs to continue the Mortal Kombat line. I'll do another vlog in future about why they haven't done that and such. But moving on, the original series version of Four Arms would be the basis for the original Kevin 11 mutant form, in terms of the way that the double shoulder sockets work and that kind of thing. And obviously, the original series one could also be redone as Handyman, the Ben 23 version from Omniverse, if you retool the Omnitrix symbol to be, blue and gold and somewhat more hexagonal, because of the Omniverse art style. Then, number 4 on my list is going to be Wrath. One of my personal favourites of the Alien Force and Ultimate Alien additions to the watch. Wrath is basically just a humanoid tiger alien. Think Tony the Tiger from Kellogg's Frosties, but as a transformation in Ben 10. One of the main reasons I love Wrath so much is because of his over-the-top exaggerated angle with everything he says and does. And that, let me tell you something, catchphrase of his. There's a whole compilation of that on YouTube. But basically I've just always loved tigers, and Wrath is one of the main reasons why. And once again, the fur detailing plus blackwash combination with McFarlane Toys' design style would definitely work here. Especially if you're going by the way he looked in the Generator Rex crossover movie, Heroes United, in which Wrath did look more visibly furry compared to the smooth art style of Alien Force and Omniverse. Then, number 3 on my list is going to be Diamond Head. Diamond Head was my first ever favourite of the original series Aliens, although I'm really hoping that McFarlane don't make him clay plastic again like in the original series, because with the, faux ratchet joints and their double elbows and the way the shoulders work in McFarlane figures, that could potentially be a break hazard. I mean, I know McFarlane have already done entirely clear plastic figures and such like before, like the, Frostbite edition Batman type things. But, seriously, Diamond Head needs to be at least slightly opaque in the arms and the face. Plus also the head could be reused for Tatrak Shard for Bounty Hunter later on that was the same species. Although of course I'm going to add an honourable mention of Chromastone to this point as well, because Chromastone's sacrifice in the Alien Force episode Vengeance of Vilgax was what resurrected Diamond Head in the Omnitrix to begin with. And Diamond Head's redesign was basically just a fusion of the original Diamond Head design with the exposed head and arms, with a bit of Chromastone's design mixed in as well, with the way the torso works and such. So, either Diamond Head or Chromastone would be a good choice for me. And then of course you could also make other Petrosapiens using the gold label retools and such. Then, number 2 on my list would be Vilgax. It wouldn't be a Ben 10 list without Vilgax now, would it? Now, he's had a lot of redesigns over the years as well, and I pretty much appreciate any of them. But needless to say, at least one of these Vilgax variants could at least be retooled into the Omnitrix transformation Gax from a reboot series, because he was originally supposed to be part of the Omnitrix transformation until the remains of Vilgax's body managed to reabsorb it and became Vilgax's true form once more in the Omnitricked 4-part episode. So, finally, number 1 on my list, Swampfire, Heat Blast, and the Ultimate Aliens. I know I'm cheating a lot here by including so many in one listing, but Heat Blast was yet again another of my all-time favourites, and again another one that could potentially hazardously use clear plastic if they're not thinking it through. Now, Heat Blast was voiced yet again by Steve Blum, much like Vilgax and Ghost Freak. And then of course there's the Ultimate Aliens, such as Humongosaur, Swampfire, Big Chill, Wild Mutt, and several others. Even Waybig got an ultimate form toward the end of Ultimate Alien. But yes, I'd like to see McFarlane figures of pretty much all of these guys at some point or another in future. And of course, if Subaraya Productions agree, then Waybig could be retooled into an actual Ultraman figure that's got some decent articulation, especially with the new Netflix anime series coming out. And of course, Ultimate Big Chill is one of my favourite Ultimate Alien designs, and Ultimate Cannonball would literally just be a minor retool of the original, just change the grey skin colour slightly from off-white to a sort of slightly more silverish grey and retool the armour shells to include the spikes and such. Of course, the Omniverse version of Ultimate Spider-Monkey looks significantly different than his Ultimate Alien version, because the Ultimate Alien version was basically just a purple gorilla with Iron Spider-type spider legs on his back, as opposed to the 8 gorilla arms Ultimate Spider-Monkey Omniverse did. But either way, I'd appreciate the design, and especially the Ultimate Alien and Omniverse version of Ultimate Humongosaur, because the Omniverse version had a load of metal poking through the flesh like the Transmetal 2 Cybershark design from Beast Wars. So, in addition to all of the things I've listed so far, I would also like to add a couple of honourable mentions to this list, including Wildvine and Dr. Animo, especially the ant control suit he wore in Omniverse. A couple of Ben 10,000's redesigns of the aliens, like Heat Blast Omniverse or Volcano shoulder pads. And of course the fusion aliens, like Heat Jaws and Stink Arms, where basically Stinkfly and Forearms or Heat Blast and Rip Jaws were fused together when Ben accidentally broke the faceplate off the Omnitrix dial in one episode. So, that concludes my top 10 list of McFarlane Figures Ben 10 toys I'd like to see in future. Not likely to happen, but we can always keep our fingers crossed. So, without further ado, I've been SoundBlaster1987, thanks again for watching. My September vlog will go into the history of the Dark Magician character from the Yu-Gi-Oh! Franchise, specifically from the original anime series, since I'm only partway through watching it at the time I'm currently recording this, so... With that said, my next vlog will be my animation review of the Duck Dodgers animated series, followed, well, no, not Duck Dodgers just yet, Kids Next Door, then Duck Dodgers afterwards, that's right. Then my next toy review will be the Transformers Revenge of the Fallen Shanghai Showdown Optimus Prime. Till then, till all are one.